Welcome back to another episode of Icebound. We would absolutely love it if you would like this video, subscribe to our channel, and check that bell so you never miss an episode. And of course, while you're doing that, I'm going to read some quotes from last month's episode of Icebound right now. Quote number 1. I love how these guys still feel like they're the good guys to me, even though they're stuck in a hard place with difficult decisions. We've talked about this. At least 2 of them probably weren't that morally good in the first place. And Yornir is the most true to form druid I've ever seen. And Derek voicing Jack, absolutely perfection in every way. Perhaps because it reminds me of death in the movie Tuesday.
Ooh.
Quotes are a little longer, but I'm going to read them.
No,
they're just
right.
really good.
Let it
Quote
rip.
number
I
2.
love Rude Tuesday.
I love when you guys talk about rules, game rules in character. They added dark vision to me, Barnabo said grimly.
Yeah.
Quote number 3. As soon as Andy mentioned Scrim intentionally not eating, I knew what he was up to. That scene where he asked Graveyard Jack those 5 questions ending with, "Are you hungry?" Absolutely gold standard. Well done, you guys.
Ooh.
Andy, you never miss. Thank you. Quote number 4. Derek said, "You are suddenly struck by a memory of Mei Li. My heart shattered into 8 billion pieces. I absolutely need Tai Shen to survive this campaign, not just because he's my absolute favorite, but so we can learn more about his relationship with his niece."
Unlikely.
Great quotes. Great quotes. As always, make sure you leave a comment below, and maybe next month we'll be able to read, what you put down there. To support the stream, there's a few different ways that you can do that. You can become a channel member right here on YouTube. You can go check out all of the awesome stuff that we have on our merch shop. You can become a patron over on Patreon, but make sure you do that quickly. The month of June, 20% discount. By the time you're watching this, who knows if it's going to be June anymore. The discount will come back in December. I don't know. Just remember this moment. I don't know what to tell you. You can go check out The Crooked Moon at thecrookedmoon.com. There's only, by the time you watch this, the back store will probably be closed. But you got to go get your Kickstarter exclusives right now. And The Crooked Moon's also on D&D Beyond. The pre-order will surely be over by the time you're watching this.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Derek, take it away.
We are Legends of Evantris. This is Icebound. Lend us your strength and join us. It is the middle of the night, and you find yourselves deep in the woods, far outside of Argentholm. You've just witnessed Scrim's own guardian, or a curse, perhaps, consume the lives of 4 elven individuals, members of the Shadow Veil Cabal, at their request. They ran into the forest, and you can still remember the sounds of their screams ringing through your ears as you turn back and start the long trek, miles to walk back out through the forest, out through the trees, and into the Shadow Veil Cabal's district. You're walking alongside the elder, the woman who is leader or chieftain or matron of the Shadowvale Cabal, Elder Nightbloom, and the two newlyweds, just the remaining three of you and the four of you trekking and back through this path. You shared a few words with her just before they turned and started to make their way back, and now they're probably a few dozen feet in front of you, and you can see that the Elder Nightbloom is consoling the daughter and the son regarding the difficult challenge before them, not just the violence they just witnessed, the loss of their parents, but also the mantle of responsibility that soon, perhaps, will be thrust upon their shoulders. For a long while, you walk in silence, but eventually, this feeling of crushed snow packing underneath your feet, you feel free to take this moment to speak again and digest, for lack of a better word, what you've just seen. What happens next is up to you.
Is he gone?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I don't feel more powerful. I don't feel good. I feel like I could taste the hot blood running down my throat, in my mouth.
Do you feel different?
Besides a little disturbed? No different.
Do you feel sated?
I don't know, maybe. I feel like I haven't eaten all day, but then I remember the taste of copper, metallic taste of blood. I feel like it's still there in the back of my throat.
Oh, do you reckon that they regretted it in the end? Being torn apart like that? Do they think it was going to be peaceful?
Did you hear the screams? Didn't sound peaceful. It sounded a lot like regret.
And they were...
No, there are plenty of brave men. I've encountered death cults on the various coasts, and sometimes there are involuntary responses to being torn apart by a BC like that.
That's what I've been worried that thing was gonna do to me since day one. And I listened to it, saw it. God.
It is instinct. We cannot escape it. No matter how ready we may be, on a mindful level. No man or beast, when the time truly comes, goes peacefully, if they can help it.
I want you guys to know, I tried to urge it on. To keep going, to keep eating. It just stopped. I don't know, maybe at the end of the day it doesn't listen to me. Maybe it doesn't want to, maybe it has its own free will. I don't know, I tried, I really did. Even when I thought I was doing the wrong thing, there was a moment. Just a brief moment. Where I regretted asking it those questions. But other than that, I wanted it to happen. I could feel it. I could feel its hunger. How much it wanted to hunt. I liked it.
Have no regret. For what you have done is just the beginning. What we can hope for now is that the Hound has more opportunities to feed.
And however gruesome, it's what they wanted.
Oh, they begged for it.
They did.
Whether they regretted it or not at the very end. I can't believe that entire religion is based around seeking that end. Every single one of those, even the little ones, even little Mallow. He's striving to one day be torn apart by your beastie, Mr. Staviscotch.
Let us not pretend or expect that every victim of the Hound will be willing. In fact, most will not.
And we don't even know how many fucking more we have to go.
Oh, many more. If that is the peg we're putting our hat on.
Does the hare have a say when the eagle comes? No. But it is its fate. It will be the fate of many. Scores more, hundreds.
Look, I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend from my high chair that, I've killed people before. Even before all of this, before Drakkar. I'm sure we all have. For the most part, we've all had some line of work that wasn't necessarily the most upright or upstanding. But there was something different about this, I'm telling you. Good lord.
I don't think that operating a tea shop might
I was
be...
gonna say, I just ran a tea shop.
Probably is not quite in the same vein as the three of us.
It's the tea shop owners you really gotta look out for. Let's be serious here.
I mean, if the door was always open.
I know it's the quiet ones we gotta watch out for.
Nice, that's true, I suppose.
But I agree with Yornir. I think the ice seems to take its payment in blood. And before we leave this place, there'll be many an opportunity to feed.
Blood is the most powerful substance in nature. And the land craves it. Do you feel like you have any control?
It's a tough one. When we were at that horrific lighthouse, I hate to bring that up. Yeah. But there was a moment where I thought it was listening to me. But how much of that was even real? Where were we? What was right? There's no test. There's no evidence there, right? Then, tonight, it seemed to listen. Only to a point. Maybe it only feasts until it's full, and it has some sort of biology to it, and it has to wait to eat again. Otherwise, if it were up to me, I would have urged it to keep going, and I would have, if it was listening to me, it would have, right? Maybe?
I do not mean, can you give it commands and have it obey you when it is here. I mean, can you call to it? Can you summon it?
I think I can. There was something in that moment where I knew that if I spoke to it, it would listen, it would call back, and it did. I could probably do it again. Maybe not, at the drop of a hat, but...
It seems as though when your goals align, the beast will come. And so the question is not how to control it, but what does it want?
Aye, Mr. Yornir said blood, aye?
Yes.
Perhaps that's what it needs. It needs to sense the blood. It needs to be drawn forth from the shadow by the blood. I heard tale of a sorcerer pirate king. Filled the hulls of his ship with blood. Went against a fleet 10 times his strength. Unleashed the blood upon the sea. Conjured krakens from the deep. Victory that day, called forth with blood. Perhaps it's the same with your beastie. I know a hound is a little bit different than a kraken, but at the end of the day, they're all just hungry creatures.
I think, deep down, I get the feeling that, yeah, I could probably do it again. Maybe not right now. Tomorrow, the next day? Sure. Why not? It's worth a shot, right? What do you got in mind? Just asking? What are you thinking?
I have said it before, but war is coming. And my intention, my hope, my wish was that your hound would feast and ascend and aid us in the coming war. But this was just several souls. It needs more. And perhaps it needs time, but I worry we do not have this time.
Even if it does feast and ascend, as you say, we can't count that it will stand with us. If truly it breaks free of whatever bond it has with Scrim, it could follow any call, including its own. But you, Yornir, you, I think, have learned how to break the shackles the princess has put on those that call this land home. We could bring a new army to bear against her, the one that she built herself.
Yes. Yes, we must condense our allies and bring them to bear under your banner.
Aye. And I don't know about you lot, but I am done with the gentle words and shaking of hands and reverent fucking rituals. I now crave the same thing that beastie does. Now is the time for blood. Now is the time for death. There's no chance for parley any longer. So let us be the first ones to shed, and perhaps the hound will come next. But we have to be the ones to start it, not it.
There's one thing we're not considering. I know that the elves had told us that the contract said something along the lines of some number of souls, and then the contract is fulfilled. I got a bad feeling. I got a real bad feeling about what happens when that contract completes. Might not be around to see the end of this.
What do you believe will happen?
What if it claims me? What if I'm the last soul? Bargain's done, but eats me up.
Oh, you know, that's nonsense. If you are the kind of person to bring in 1,000 souls for something that craves that, wouldn't they want you to keep doing that job? Why would they then take you off of this earth when they could have more souls offered up on a bloody fucking platter?
I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time, Barnabas, a very long time. And I hope that I don't outgrow my usefulness. All I'm telling you is that when that ogre tried to send me to ogre heaven, I didn't go to any heaven. I don't want to end up there again.
Perhaps you will be devoured, but I do not believe this to be so. I am not worried about us losing control over the hound. I am not concerned about you being eaten as the 1,000th soul. For I believe this is why your fate has led you here in this moment, in this place. And I believe you and the hound are one. The hound will not devour itself. For it is you, and you are it.
I hope you're right. Look, this place is rough. We might be toasted any minute, right? Tomorrow one of us might bite the dust. So I'm in. I'm gonna lean into this thing. I'm gonna harness his power.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna do the best I can here.
Yes.
But just if it gets away from me and old Scrim just becomes dog chow one morning, just don't be surprised.
We're here to stand with you against whatever comes next, Scrim. However you draw on that power, whatever happens, we'll face it together.
And I don't think any of us fear death any longer. At this point.
To your point, it's not so much the death I'm worried about. It's what might come after.
Oh, I look forward to that for me. I'm sorry that you may not experience the same thing. The Fiddler's Green. But there's more I have to do here yet. I'm afraid.
We all die. It is inevitable.
But not before that fucking white bitch queen. She'll die first. Even if I die one moment later.
Let us end all of this before that time comes.
Aye.
It is late. We must rest. You especially.
Let's head home.
You continue making your way through the dark forest. It's already past midnight, and it was a 6-mile trek to that secluded place that you made your hound emerge. And returning to the Cursed Glade, you recognize that it is quite sleepy. Decorations lie to the side, some having been cleaned up, others left till morning. The wedding that you had participated in has calmed. It seems that this is not an all-night affair, that once the procession leaves, everyone understands that the celebration is over and have found their way back to their own hearths to ponder the events or perhaps find what sleep they can, especially knowing that it was a celebration under the watchful eye of the oppressive Princess of Wrath. It's here that you catch up with Elder Nightbloom and the young couple. And she turns to the four of you. Thank you again. Thank you for what you have done. We will be here if you need us.
The time will come when we will need you, all of you. Anyone who can fight, anyone who can weave spells, we'll need all of it.
Even the lesser of us are trained in some magic. We can fight if we need to, even if our numbers are very limited. And we will be much stronger for having fed one of our God's guardians this night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, save your thanks. If you want to repay us, get us more souls.
We will have to arrange another night like this one, but I can spread the word quietly, discreetly, and perhaps your hound will be hungrier for more.
Here's hoping.
And if you know any other houses that you believe would seek to turn against the princess, we would see their bonds shackled and draw them to our cause.
The spirit callers, the wayfarers, even the dwarves that dwell beneath us in the underice. All of them have some reason. They might feel anger towards the princess. Use that, and you might find an ally.
Thank you. Thank you for setting us free.
I know not how many more years I have with my tribe. I do not know how many more days or weeks I have. But you are here. I would ask you one more favor. See after the newlyweds. They're going to be quite alone. Perhaps not as alone as I was when my betrothed left me, chose to exile himself, leave and go somewhere else in Drakkar, I know not. He refused to live under the reign of the princess. But I stayed, and they will need more support, not just each other. I fear that there are hard days ahead.
Harder than you can imagine. We've said this before, prepare your people for blood.
We will wait for a sign. If we must rally, we will be at your side.
The matron of this tribe nods and bids farewell. She is clearly very tired. The couple is nowhere to be seen, and you're left there in the square, all alone, as she makes her way back to her abode.
We have strong allies in these elves. I am less confident in the others, but we must try.
After what she did to the Spirit Walkers, I would imagine they would join us readily.
I think there's hate here. This whole fucking place reeks of hate, doesn't it? I think they all hate her, she hates them. I think all we have to do is just we let it out. Strike a match. And this powder kegel's going to blow.
She may yet still have some of these tribes truly believe in her. The warrior Goliaths seem to stand with her readily. I don't think we can turn everyone against her.
No, I know. I know the chieftain's type. I suppose the former wife of the chieftain, before he cut his fucking head off. I think even she can be swayed. She has more hate than the rest of them combined. All we need to do is just give it a little nudge toward the direction of the princess, and she'll turn her hate there.
I mean, surely, if some of these peoples found out that they were eating their own, might sway even the most staunch supporters.
It may. Whatever happens, we have to try.
You're continuing to make your way out and through the main path, the thoroughfare that leads into the Cursed Glade, and you pass a familiar spot. It is where you initially met and found the pig known as Wilbur. For lack of a better word. You turn and you look, and there, sleeping in the small kennel, for lack of a better word, is Wilbur.
Big Ben?
Sleeping, snoring, peacefully, calmly.
There is no time. I go and I unleash Wilbur. And
You-
I open this kennel. I'm taking him.
You walk over and you start to wake up the pig, and he sort of blinks and immediately recognizes your scent and
Come, Wilbur. It is a miracle you still live. You may not be so lucky again. Join us, please.
he seems tired Are you guiding him, attempting to coerce him out of his sleeping spell?
Yes, you must join us. Your wisdom and your strength. You are iceborn, I can tell. Please, join us. You will be safer. If there are any others of your kin that you would like to bring as well, please motion to them and we will free them from their pens and bring them along with us.
You are stealing the pig of some poor elven pig keeper, but make an animal handling check.
I don't care. Fuck these elves. I think that's a...
Twist this.
You gotta pre.
Yeah, you gotta choose ahead of
We
time.
only have 7. We only have 7.
It's worth it.
Fuck.
It's worth it.
12.
12.
That's enough.
You watch Wilbur as he starts to waddle forward, and he reaches the gate, and then sort of looks down at the gate and looks back up at you, and you feel quite a bit of hesitation, not sure why you are trying to guide him out in the middle of the night in this way.
And yeah, if it helps. So, because I'm a Fearbolg, I can communicate to animals and plants, and I do have advantage on charisma checks to influence them.
Why don't you roll that advantage
Oh
roll?
my god.
It's not technically charisma, but I think it counts. There we go. That is a 19.
A 19,
How
easy
about
money.
that?
I will say that understanding the meaning of your words and remembering the adventure that you went on, the kinship, the companionship that you were able to provide Wilbur, as opposed to the forceful coercion of the princess to find her truffle, he starts to hop forward, and you feel that he'll follow you wherever you may go. His feet leaving little tiny imprints in the snow. I want everyone to make a perception check.
Oh.
Oh shit. Can you pass me some dice over there?
Oh, I actually crushed. I got 22. 16 plus 6.
17.
Oh, it's a 7.
Oh, 17. Oh, 17.
Perception 11.
11.
We did pretty well.
Everyone's focused on Wilbur. Scrim, perhaps it's because of your experience tonight. You're keeping your eyes around the corners and looking in the shadows, just sort of making sure you're not being observed. And it's becoming very obvious that there is not just a flurry of snow coming down, but these snowflakes are getting thicker and thicker. You can see, even just after, moments after Wilbur left his little home, that a sheet of snow has already started to collect on his back. You can brushing off of your shoulder. It seems that the weather is getting worse, and you make this connection while everyone is distracted by Yornir's passion for the wise pig known as Wilbur.
So I just noticed that the weather
Yes.
is getting worse. Okay. I wouldn't say anything. I would just...
And so the four of you start to make your way out of the Cursed Glade, back to the main road that leads back to your district. And as you start to make your way, you can see, even though the weather is getting hazier, even though the weather is getting much rougher, you can hear and see two things. In the distance, you can see where the Biting Bastion should be. It's almost completely obscured by the foggy snow in all directions. You can perceive light, an orange glow almost, a tremendous number of torches, and you can see a thin band of a trail leading across the bridge that goes to that castle forest, out to the main road. You can hear also very faintly over the wind of the snow some form of communication. Oh, war drums. The sound of this beating and rhythmic sound, these low drums that you've heard multiple times during your naming ceremony, they're rising up and up and up. And the street immediately around you, other than snow, appears to be completely empty as you continue to make your way down and through to the district, to your own district where you currently call home with the ogres.
The dragon prepares for war.
Gosh, already? I mean, like, right now?
She's already drawing forces to her?
She was just a guest at the wedding. Was it just an intimidation tactic before marshalling her forces?
What are the chances she found out what we're up to?
I mean, if she heard us, would she not have struck us down at the wedding?
Why not, right?
Perhaps to keep us in line. She wants to make a show of force, so we cease what we're doing.
So you think she knows? You think she's all over this?
There is very little she doesn't know.
Damn it.
But we must hope that she does not know everything.
Well, maybe this is perhaps normal in this city, and it's just a regular communication. I'm gonna look around to see if there's anyone that I can see that seems to be like a native or a regular of the city.
Yes.
Make a perception check.
You must remember, we've only been here, I think, 4 days.
That is pretty good.
You're on day. Hold on, I've got
20.
I think only 4 days.
You're entering your 10th day.
Okay.
You're entering your 10th day, which is in D&D a long time.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
We have all sort of ritual here. It could be something normal.
What did you get?
20.
20. You scan the torches, and you can see that not all of them have arrived at the Biting Bastion. And so you let your eyes follow the path in the direction of where you are supposed to be heading, your own district. And you can see very faintly a few dancing lights, clearly a squad or contingent of these Frosthammer kobolds are making their way towards you, making their way around the lake and following up, listening to and following the sound of the beating drums.
Oh, well, let's just ask one of these groups of little kobolds. They might know.
I'll nod.
I will pursue.
You make your way forward, and in minutes you are able to cross paths with what are very evidently guards, classic enforcers of the Argentholm armies that the princess commands. And they appear to be just racing past you. They don't even look at you as they are holding their torches.
Oi, watchmen! I have a question. I am the chieftain of the Icebound castaways.
They slow down, and one of them steps forward. What do you want?
Oh, well, I want you to show some respect to one of the chieftains of this city. Secondly, I'd like to know what's the meaning of these drums and where are you headed? We're new in this city and we don't understand what's going on.
You should get back to your home. The drums. The princess is issuing commands. She is asking us to assemble.
Oi, us? Should you say that we go to our homes?
The Frosthammers.
Oi, the Frosthammers, eh? Gathering all your kin. And in the Biting Bastion. Do you know what for? Have you heard any rumors around? I'm sure there's plenty of rumors around the guards. There always are.
You got any gold?
I'll wave at someone to give them gold.
I look around. I reach into my pocket, and I pull out a single gold piece. And I say, I hold it up just a little bit, just so that it glints in the torchlight. And I put it back under my arm, and I say, but listen, this is my last gold piece. All right, you can't tell anyone where you got this from. You understand?
This kobold is looks excited, shocked even, and he turns.
I didn't think they'd have any gold.
Just the one piece. That's it. It's the final one. There's no more. You know where it all goes.
Yes.
I've been keeping this one sewn in the lining of my underbritches for a year now.
The princess will honor us with this gold.
Well, you can tell her that you found it somewhere as long as you don't tell her that you found it from me. Understood?
I'll do it for a gold piece.
Oi, but now you're going to tell us the gossip before he gives you the coin, you understand?
I've already established a single call. You didn't have to repeat yourself. What is wrong with these people? Get to talking!
Oi, get to talking!
He looks over at his friend.
Quivik and I think that she has assembled enough gold. Perhaps this will be the last piece she needs.
Oh, wouldn't that be quite the, event for you if you were able to toss in the final piece? Surely you'd be risen up to some great high standard.
Our commander will lead us to greatness.
Okay, and where'd you find this gold piece?
I found it on the ground.
Oi, and what happens once she collects all the gold pieces? Of course, the Frosthammer must know that.
Her prince will arrive. Her prince who will lead us to greatness.
Aye, the prince arrives this very evening. How about that?
is what I think will happen.
Give him the gold piece.
I flick it so that it does a nice, beautiful spin and a high arc directly at him.
He claps his hands and then grabs his spear, and you can see him push it into. They don't have much in the way of armor, but he finds a pocket and it disappears.
Lucky find, that one. Lucky find.
Get to your home safely. Prepare yourself for the next summoning. We must go.
They turn and they immediately start to make their way, carrying their torches into the snowy night.
Well, maybe this isn't about us after all. Or maybe it is. Hard to say. Who can tell?
Summoning the creature she summoned before, the chieftain's moot.
Yeah, this is all strange witchcraft. I frankly don't think that she has any idea what power she's meddling with. Let's go check on the ogres. We may need to account for Daisy and for Queenie. They may be in danger now. I thought we had more time.
I don't know. I thought we'd have more time too. I don't know.
We're
I don't
not
know.
prepared yet to storm the bastion. We should go home, maybe take stock of things, figure out our next move, and...
Oh, it's late. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's... This changes everything.
Does it?
How does it not, Mr. Yornir?
We go to war one way or another.
Oh, that's true, but I thought that we at least had a handful of days to find allies, to parlay.
we have to think about what comes next as well. If she's truly capable of summoning that creature, her, Whisperfang, that monster she can bring to bear, any of her forces that'll stand with her, even if we bring our own army, this place becomes a graveyard. And then what happens? Then the Metal Men, led by Secundus, come through, reclaim the Hexager armament, and your vision is realized.
None of it will matter if we kill the princess. This is all we need to do. If the ogres can survive long enough for us to take her down, then this is over.
Aye.
Just like the Goliaths, if we can end her, the tribes will fall in line.
Oi, to show strength. Then we'll have an army at our hands.
Every day we can get every tribe we can muster just increases the odds. There is still a chance. We are still fated to be here and to do this and to end her. We must try.
All right. Okay, let's get back. Let's get our things, have a nice meal, and see if there isn't total chaos with the ogres.
And I would say that you're walking, right? Yeah. You are feeling the chill. Perhaps less so, Barnabas. Perhaps less so with your many furs, Yornir. But even you both recognize that the temperature is dropping this night.
Oh shit!
And you push through that cold to eventually reach your own district. You see the familiar house there at the front of the main path, and the windows are glowing. Someone has been keeping a fire for you therein. And you push your way through the blustery doors, feeling the intense and pleasurable warmth of the interior. And you find on the on the inside, standing right in front of you, a figure, a large figure, a figure you're very familiar with. It's Manny. He turns and he looks at the four of you, and he goes, "Back you are."
Oh, you haven't turned anyone else into soup, have you?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Manny is sorry.
Or any other kind of food.
We have food.
No people in the food, though.
No people.
Manny understands that was not what you wanted. It has been discussed. All of us have discussed what happened, and we will do better for the tribe.
How are the family and loved ones of the ogre that sacrificed himself by trying to bring down the demon lord known as Whisperfang?
We all have great sorrow for the loss of another ogre. Very few of us left. We will make more ogres as fast as we can.
Very well. In hard times and times of war, you need to make more ogres as fast as you can. That is nice thinking. Nice, sharp thinking, Manny.
Manny's smart.
Do what you must to survive.
And how quickly can you make ogres?
You see his brow.
Don't
furrow.
answer that!
You see his
Don't
brow
answer
furrow.
that!
He puts a hand on his chin.
Remind me, when we went to Whisperfang and the other ogre got absolutely cooked, was Manny with us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
What was that ogre's name? I
Tack.
Like
I think it was.
core, or-
It
Doesn't
was.
matter.
It wasn't Tack.
I want to
wouldn't
say
have
it was,
sacrificed
Tack might be the name of the.
It was
first
like a mook. He was a red
I know,
shirt.
mustard, you're thinking is
Uko.
mustard
It was
seed.
Uko.
Uko.
He was a red shirt.
I was Tack was the ogre that you rode the
Yeah.
sled on from
Tack
under.
is Tack is
We
legit.
wouldn't have sacrificed Tack.
And you're thinking
No.
of mustard seed.
Tack's
That's not
not good.
right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uko. Thank you.
Okay.
Oi. Send our respects again to Uko's family and say that he will sail the seas with Trothak the Shark Puncher and the great ogre heaven afterlife.
I will tell him.
Oh, yeah.
And I have something for you. I
Alright.
cannot undo what happened. I cannot bring back this poet. But he was not entirely destroyed.
We saw you butchered him like a side of beef.
He reaches down, and to the side of the table, you can see folded clothes. And on top of that, you can see what is very clearly a book, a tome. He picks it up between his hands and he extends it out to the four of you.
His belongings, his things.
I recognize that. The poet when we were at the chieftain's moot, he was writing in that.
We need to make sure that no one ever sees us with those things.
Who knows about this,
That's
Manny?
gonna be really bad.
The ogres, me, and the ogres.
That's all right. That's already too many. Two ogres too much.
And the poet. Well, no, he's dead.
Barnabas, man.
Wait,
The book?
Burn the clothes.
Thank you. I was gonna say the same thing, Yornia. Jeez.
You've already got the fire going, Manny. Well done. I just completely yeeted him. Yeah, I don't care.
He looks back at you with shock, but he is in this moment trying to be to own his responsibility, to own what happened, and he sort of nods grimly. And
What can Ogre do for the tribe to do better? How can we? We are there for you if we need to be.
You need to fortify every single one of the buildings. Make sure that there is a constant watch around the clock, you understand? Make sure that everyone is armed, man, woman, child. If they can swing a club, they can swing a piece of sharpened wood. And don't let anyone inside that tries to get in.
No one in buildings or in district.
In buildings, we'll say that people can pass through, perhaps, but keep an eye on them. If they're not supposed to be there, just keep an eye on them.
Yeah, we can't bother the district.
And try to remember to see where they came from and where they're going. Try to mark it down, whatever markings you can muster.
We will be on guard. We will multiply and defend.
Just make sure that you don't get so busy multiplying that you leave your watch post and you let infiltrators get in while you're infiltrating and getting in.
Dear God, if they're gonna literally get caught with their pants down.
Manny doesn't wear pants.
We will not do both at the same time.
Aye, that is your chieftain's order. Just protect each other. Stay vigilant, stay sharp. There may be dark, violent, bloody days ahead. It may even start this very night. Don't be caught unawares.
I will inform the others. The other ogres will
Thank you, man.
be eager to do right. For Uko.
Faruko, may his name never be forgotten.
Never. Not once. Never could. No one. He starts to cry and he runs out.
God, I'm never gonna get that sight of his flesh peeling away from his bones like a banana peel. Oh, Lord. Anyway.
You find yourselves alone. He closes he opens and closes the door. It's like that scene in not the Hated Eight, the Hateful Eight. It's like that scene in the Hateful Eight where they have to bang the door shut every single time. Every time the door opens, this burst of wind and flurry of snow cascades into the space. But as soon as it's closed,
If someone's poisoned the coffee, Derek, I will kill you.
oh,
Yeah.
that what in the game?
In their game.
I don't. Well, make a Constitution saving throw. You find yourselves back in your residence, having enjoyed, for what it's worth, the festivities of the day of wedding, vows of love, and of course the difficult end that came at its conclusion.
I'm gonna do an immediate inventory of the pantry. I'm gonna see. He said that there was food. I want to just double check whatever that is. And last time they made food, it was a real big problem. So I'm just gonna do a full inventory of the pantry, full inventory of the kitchen.
You know that they are that they had brought many stores of food in exchange for some of your earlier deeds. So there are still the same accoutrements that you're used to from the days prior. There are
If there's any new meats, I'm gonna throw it out, or like that I'm not aware of, that I don't know what it is.
Oh,
I'm inspecting. Yeah.
you expect that after even the debris of the stew that you that you tipped over that was the poet has been cleaned up.
Got it.
Right, these ogres they clearly have tried to correct their ways, and you don't find anything out of place or out of sorts. When you put your hand on the equivalent of a schmason jar, it's turned at the exact angle that you left it at, so you feel extremely comfortable and familiar with the food in the restaurant.
With that, I'm going to, especially given the vegan meal we were served, I will immediately start cooking up the heartiest, meatiest, fattiest meal that I can possibly muster. Especially given the long hike that we've done. We've done, 12 miles round trip.
There and back.
12 miles, not including the mile or
city.
two that it would have been taken to get from your district to the Cursed Glade. You stood all day, you
That's
danced.
hours.
You experienced, right? You are tired. Your legs are exhausted. Your bodies and minds and souls are all depleted from what would have been a very long day.
So yeah, I will very much throw as much meat as I possibly can into that, and having worked up an appetite, and I'll just get cooking while they do what they're doing.
And because chat was very kind to remind me, you immediately recognize that Wilbur has found the warmest spot on the couch, right adjacent to the hearth. Just jumps up. It takes him a few hops to finally get the momentum necessary, but then he circles and, almost like a dog, curls up as best a pig can, especially one of his age, next to the roaring fire.
I will sit down in wherever the closest chair is, and recognizing, presumably, that this is the book the poet was writing in.
He told you about this book.
Detailing the story of the Princess of Wrath.
He when you were networking at the end of the name calling ceremony, you'll recall that the poet mentioned his fascination with the story of the princess, that she was his muse, and that he recognized that he was a bit of a
Simp.
a foreigner, simp. He didn't belong in Drakkar, but he was happy to be here because he had gotten his voice back, and he was writing. He seemed very covetous of the not sharing. We're not willing to read that poetry, but you find yourself curious enough to start flipping through those pages.
I'm gonna start reading like quickly. Thinking that he may be detailing stories, looking for anything that stands out in terms of like something I could learn about the princess that we may be able to use to our advantage, especially with how the night is going. So I'll take however much time it takes to kind of like read. I mean, I don't know how like massive it is. I'm assuming
this is a thick tome. This was a wordy bitch. He was verbose in his writing, wordy and so bitch. It's. I will say that when you flip to the middle, you're like, I'm 14 chapters into the plot and I don't know where I am. So you flip to the front, and it becomes obvious very quickly. This was a book that he started writing once he arrived in Drakkar. And he starts to talk a little bit about being in Karkanos, that was his continent of origin, that he came from a bronze dragon-born city called Kujath, which was on a river, and that he was playing very much the satyr, and that he angered the king of the city, and that by sleeping with his wife, and of course it starts getting very lewd, and apparently by magic he was exiled, transported to the other side of the world, or at least to Drakkar, and plopped into the wilderness where he would surely die had he not been collected by some of the princess's forces, and in so being found himself under her protection, under her wing, so to speak. For whatever reason, she seemed to immediately take a kinship or a liking to him, and gave him free reign. He didn't need to be a part of a tribe. He could go and do as he pleased. You continue reading this book, and it's just page after page of these almost journal entries, but written in a very dense prose, almost like a poem. As you continue to flip through, you also get a sense of what you are looking for. Why don't you go ahead and make a intelligence check for me? Or if you can justify another role that you feel is how Taishen would approach a book, I would hear that argument.
I suppose there's really just reading them.
I suppose I could.
I waffled on 19 for 1 second before it landed on 1. So that's a 2.
It's a 2. It's not so much that it's a failure, so much as it is the time.
Right.
The amount of time that it takes you with a 2 is that you can't seem to find the information you need. You need to actually go back, and because of the denseness of this writing style, read page after page after page. Eventually, you reach chapters where he's talking to the Goliaths, to the Stormfist Legion, learning about their ways. He describes their belief in a war god Titan, and that they believe the princess is a vengeful avatar, prophesized to return his into being. That there were Goliaths that disagreed with this take, and that they left or fled Drakkar to warmer climes. You read a little bit about the elves, and that they don't believe that there's any godliness there, or that the dragon is merely an apex predator of the land of Drakkar, a manifestation of sorts of the brutality of this land. But you and continuing to pass forward, you learn a little bit more about the orcs' beliefs. They teach that the Princess of Wrath is a manifestation of the weather, the cold, the blizzards of the world, of nature. Appeasing her means respecting nature, and that calming her is like harnessing a storm. You continue and reading through you learn a little bit about the other two tribes that you've gotten to know very little about. The Iron Vein Brotherhood and the Horned Wayfarers, the dwarves and minotaurs of this realm.
Oh yeah.
The Princess of Wrath for the dwarves is an affirmation that the surface world is not their concern. That the rage of the winter above is not something they should deal with. That gold keeps the peace, but ensures that she does not interfere with dwarven matters. And the Minotaurs, they believe that the Princess of Wrath is an avatar of death. The center of the labyrinth, so to speak. The end of wandering, succumbing to the cold. A force meant to be outrun.
Wow.
His notes as you go through, his take, ultimately, is an observation more than it is a myth or a theory, the way that it's being written, almost like an epic through this tome as you continue to read. You get these conflicting notes of information. He recognizes another human. He recognizes that even as flawless as she appears, and she has an ass that won't quit.
Excuse me?
He chose a
I
human
suppose
form.
that's true.
He chose a human form for herself. That she, even though she can transform into this unbelievable magical being, that face for herself, for lack of a better word, that form, may be a choice, maybe something that she's decided to present to the world, and that there's a kinship there, and that's part of what intrigues him about her story.
Oh, God's Taishan, that part about the ass, those pages are stuck together.
You realize the pages are stuck together from blood. I don't know how much you articulate this, but that's what you would glean over the course of the hour or so that you would sit down and sort of meditate and read chunks and sections and start putting together this extremely dense.
This is the book the poet was writing about the Princess of Wrath. I was hoping to find something in here we could use as leverage to beseech her, or even a weakness in her, the castle itself, that may help us strike at her. All it's helped me to figure so far is that it seems like half of the tribes worship her as a god, and half can't stand her. But I think I can dig deeper. I think with this, I might be able to find out more. I think he knew more than he put in this book. It was always strange to me that she took a human so close into her, under her wings, into the bastion, though she doesn't seem to treat them with reverence, except for the poet. I'm gonna try something, and I don't know how it's gonna work. But if it gives us more information, it may help us, especially if something happens tonight. But it may help us face her.
Wait. You're saying that you don't think that the poet is a human?
I don't know. He writes as though he is, but he says that he was born in another dragonborn city. A human, raised at least, and made his way here.
To be clear, from the picture of the story, that was just how he arrived at Drakkar. He found himself in a city of Kujath, a bronze dragonborn city. He's a human. He's wandering Karkanos. He's a wayfarer. I didn't make that clear enough.
I thought he was born there.
No, he wasn't born there. So his origins is that you know very purely that he is definitely a human from birth to now.
No, I don't think that's the case. Why did you get that from what I said?
No, to be very clear, I understand that he's human. I'm saying that I'm commenting on the fact that you said that she holds him in regard to the other humans he doesn't. Is he human plus? Is he not actually human? Is he a liar? Certainly died like a human.
We know that the princess chooses a human form for her visage when she shapeshifts. So perhaps she just has a preference.
For him. Only him.
Oh, just for the human form.
You think that she knew what he was writing about her ass?
Good question.
Did it actually say that?
Oh, it's what Mr. Fireblossom said.
It's hard to tell. The writing on that page is smudged.
But I'm certainly not going to verify it. The pages are gross.
Oh, we got about 5 minutes until chow.
Taishan, you're being coy.
Thank you.
The entire poem is littered with extremely rich physical descriptions of the princess.
She couldn't have known. I mean, it's graphic in here. I mean, he paints a word picture.
Hey, Taishan, you mind if I just take a... Oh, my God!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
This is pornographic in nature.
No, it does something to you. It does something to you. It's hard to read.
Why didn't you stop me, Taishan?
We must
Anyway.
burn the book. We cannot be caught with this.
From a certain point of view, that's what I was thinking, but with a different outcome. Give me just one moment, and let me see if I can learn more.
Please.
I'll sit on the floor, away from like the chair, like a table or anything. I'll just sit in kind of like with a little bit open area, and I'll place the book down in front of me, and I'll meditate with my fists pushed together for a moment, and then emanating from between them, I'll start to ignite, but not like aggressively. You'll just start to see a flame come out from my palms, but it burns with the golden light of the golden flame, and I'll place my hands out and onto the book, and it'll spread out, and it'll begin to engulf the leather bindings and the pages as I cast Legend Lore at a 5th level.
No fucking way.
5th level.
And this will take 10 minutes.
Holy smokes.
But I'm going to use the Golden Flame of Fuzhou. And I have to name or describe a famous person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about that famous thing as described. The lore might consist of important details, amusing revelations, or even secret lore that has never been wildly known. The more information you already know about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. So I would guess at this point, with my almost biblical knowledge of the Princess of Wrath, as I focus on the Princess of Wrath, I cast Legend Lore.
Holy shit.
Counterspell. No.
That's very funny, Derek.
Manny, how could you?
Very sorry.
Of course.
Counterspell.
You focus in, and you go to that whole spiritual place within yourself, that place that you have kept sacred for as long as you could have, and you feel this swell of the inheritance that Fuzhou bestowed upon you, this ability to see beyond, this wisdom, and you focus on the princess, and you think about all of these conflicting stories, all of these pieces that are a puzzle to you and to your companions, looking, seeking, hoping that you might be able to find a path forward, find a way to survive. And all of you start to see a change, a shift all around you. Not just within Taishan, but you recognize this. It casts its way through the walls, through the windows. You start to see these sheets of golden light start to push in, almost it's starting to envelop you and Taishan as the tome itself starts to glow. Taishan lifts up briefly from the ground as he cultivates this unbelievable power within, levitating just inches from the ground and starting to pull up. The three of you start to feel this very familiar sensation, not something that you've experienced once here on Drakkar, but twice. Once when you shared each other's stories on the long trek across the ice sheet, when you so desperately were trying to survive when you first arrived and found yourselves icebound, and again when you were confronting the Elder Brain Sophalith in the ship, the Nautiloid ship. You were consumed by this aurora, by this curtain of magic, and blinking you begin to fall into what feels like a dream. And that's where we'll take a quick break.
Nice play there, Mace.
We're in a dream now.
That's right.
We're in a waking dream, seemingly.
I don't know if waking dream is the way that I would describe it. It's a dream-like experience.
Oh, God.
You've experienced this once before when you were in the Aurora, as the land itself seemingly showed you your companions' lives. You remember experiencing your own life, Barnabas, in the curtains of magic as you were consumed and taken through the story, telling over a campfire one night, experiencing Tai Shen's story, watching him in his valley and meeting Fu Zhao. You remember experiencing Yornir's backstory. This is very much the same, and through the power of Tai Shen's magic, you are being pulled back in time, centuries of time, and you find yourself looking around. You find yourself in a forest. You are clearly somewhere in northern Drakkar. It's hard to place exactly where, but there are mountains in all directions. It is clearly a very rocky, hilly area, these massive tall trees all covered with snow. And you've been transported here, and you are looking at your companions. You're no longer cooking, Barnabas. Yornir, you're no longer sitting next to Wilbur. Scrim, Tai Shen, you are all looking into each other's faces, and all of a sudden you realize that you've been pulled to see something, to learn perhaps a little bit more about the princess through Tai Shen's magic. In the distance, you can hear the crackling of wood. You can hear the sound, you can see the glow of what is clearly some sort of large fire. What do you do next?
Do we have like awareness that this is like was Yornir just in the living room or whatever?
Yeah.
And now his mind is transported, and
Or do we like?
Would we presume
Whoa!
to know
Like, you know.
that this is the effects of the spell?
You would understand that it's the effects of your magic, that you've sort of harnessed and pulled your friends, called them to this place to find answers, to find more knowledge regarding the princess. That is what you were focused on. You weren't focused on this particular place or location, but you seem to have been pulled by the by this magic that you have invoked. And called your friends along with you. You're no longer standing in your residence. You're no longer standing in front of the cooking meat. You're no longer sitting there. You seem to be wholly there, but teleported almost, for lack of a better word.
And we've experienced something similar to this before.
Yes, exactly right.
So we're not completely fish out of water.
Yeah.
You know that you have agency in these moments. In the same way that when you were describing your story to your friend Scrim, you remember that you told the tale of the person that you conned, and then of course meeting that strange creature. In the telling of that story, everyone was there with you, even though that wasn't true when you first experienced it. It was like a re-memory, an echo of a memory that you were able to explore and look around with complete freedom. This vision.
I believe we're in the memories of the princess. At least, that's who I focused on when I sought the truth.
Mr. Fireblossom, you did this?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Tai Shen, you were able to harness the Aurora.
It wasn't my intention to bring us all here like this. I thought maybe just I could unveil deeper meaning in the poet's book, but so much more power responded when I called out than I expected, and now we're here like we have been before. I think we walk this path and we try and find her and experience her life as we did when we shared each other's.
You don't suppose that she knows that we're here, do you?
Well, when we had those experiences, we all were in them together. And she herself was not pulled in, I don't think so, when I cast this magic.
Let us hope that this is fate itself showing us what we need to see. Although she does have a strong tie to the land. And if this is the land itself, then there is always a chance.
Oi, let us make sure we're not alone. And I'm going to just kind of look around, maybe like tap into my primal instincts as the instincts of the senses of the sea, and try to just see if there's any kind of anyone with us. Do I feel a presence?
Like lurking,
Staring
at us.
You
It's a beast barbarian.
Your animal
are you
instincts,
using a
eh?
feature, or are you
No.
trying
I
to
think I have
invoke
some
a
sort
roll?
of senses, but I don't know what it does.
You have a sense of trepidation, certainly.
Yeah.
You have a sense of the sound of struggle is in the distance. You can hear what is clearly the calling of voices now, and that same sound, the almost like a loud campfire.
Yeah.
But because there are boughs that are on fire, there's clearly a great amount of timber cracking and popping. Just beyond the stretch of trees where you've found yourself and your allies.
There's all we can do is go towards the fire.
Yes, to the fire.
Let's go.
You start to make your way, and as you make your way forward, you see what looks like a hut beside a snow-covered rock formation, and it's burning. 2 bodies are smashed to pieces outside.
Jesus.
You see on the right another building, caved in, bits of splintered wood and blood smeared across the side of it. And ahead of you now, what looks like a shape moving, and you hear grunting. You see the shape of a humanoid. Massive, bulging muscles, a long beard hanging down as he wields a massive hammer, smashing over and over and over again. What looks like it would have been the face of some large barbarian-like man. Bits of skull and brain are scattered about. His face is horribly disfigured, horribly misshapen. His muscles are massive, a giant of a man. You made me do this! He smashes down again. You made me do this! And standing just nearby is a young woman with auburn hair that you don't recognize, watching from the flickering shadows. And this man just keeps smashing down again. You made me do this! You made me do this! He's smashing, and that's what confronts you as you make your way in part through the trees to find the burning buildings.
Is it clear that this man was the frosty figure that we saw on that Diddy naming ritual day?
Make a insight check.
In 4 game state.
Oh my god.
Hold on. I just want to know. I want to find out the full number.
The vignettes that we experience as players,
That's meta.
that's meta.
We have not
Our
experienced
characters
those
have
as
never
characters.
experienced that before.
That's
I just
right.
wanted to
Correct.
make sure that we're maintaining that game state.
That's correct.
Because Mikey recognizes this place, but Barnabas does not.
Right, correct.
Roger that.
That's very correct. Thank you
Roger
for
that.
saying
I
that out
rolled a
loud.
20 plus 5 is 25.
With a 25. This is clearly a human. You recognize, even in the flickering shadows, that this is a man. The Titan that you saw during your name-calling day, the thing that was summoned was, 24 feet tall and had very similar features. And you suddenly, thinking of the beard that fell from his face. This is not a gray beard, but it reminds you of the same hair. The disfigured face sparks of familiarity in you, and you strongly suspect that this is somehow that same giant that you saw before.
And did we ever learn his name? Does anyone remember if she said his name
You mean like during the moot?
during the naming ceremony?
We have heard the name.
I don't know if she did.
I can tell you.
We've heard the name Costachi
We have.
several times.
Well, Derek's gonna confirm too.
Okay.
To make sure.
But the thing is, it wasn't a vignette.
No,
in
I don't know if
character.
it was in character. I don't know
I
if it
think
was in
she
character.
may have just said like, "My love,
Yes.
I'll bring you back."
I don't think it was in character.
So
not sure.
Costachi was in the vignette.
I think Kasashi
I
has
believe
always
so.
been in the vignettes.
But we'll find.
I think.
I'm with Mace on this one.
Shucks, howdy.
I'm a little sure. I'm 51% that she said like my love or my husband when she went to summon him.
A little sure, eh?
Just a little.
The words that resonate in your mind, Yornir, and anyone else who's making this connection of Koskachi comes to you. The final words just before he shattered into ice and fell to the stone floor of the Biting Bastion. Onward then, to conquest, to dominion, to an empire where the warmth of the sun is but a distant memory. Rise all and claim this world as your own in the name of Koskachi, the Prince of Wrath!
That's right. I knew it.
Okay.
I knew it.
It is him. It is Kostkachi.
Why did you say it like that?
That's sort of how he said it.
Say Cool Whip.
Cool whip.
You're saying it weird.
He was a
No, I am not.
large giant, summoned in flame. This is but a man.
Perhaps the visage that we saw that day was an amplification of his form.
The princess called out to him as a lover. That would mean that. Could this be her?
Does not look like her. Perhaps a former wife or before the princess came to be.
Do we have our weapons and accoutrement? Sorry to ask so many clarifying questions.
No, it's a great question.
It's important.
That is a very good question.
You would have you'd be equipped in this particular moment with what you were what you had on you, or what you would be familiar with when you were pulled from the.
So I wouldn't have my anchor or anything.
I would say.
Because I was like cooking.
Yeah, I don't want to break the immersion, but I feel like I could summon the brutal
Do I have,
blade
like,
because
a-
I never carry
yeah.
it. I just whip it into
you
existence.
could summon the brutal blade.
I think I have like an apron. You know what I mean? And a mixing bowl. You know what I mean? I have some.
Barnabas got
I love
slippers
that.
on.
No, I think that it's almost like the Matrix. It's the image you have of yourself.
Okay.
that gets projected.
That's cool.
I like that.
Okay.
I like
believe
that.
it.
So-
I believe it.
and
Our
so-
nest.
How you view
Yeah.
yourself.
Your nest includes your anchor, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah.
We've never really talked about it. Do you just carry that fucking thing? Like it's always just on your shoulder? Or do you have like a heavy thing that you put it on your?
I think the netting that I have is very sturdy, that is able to carry it for like long distances. Yeah.
So if it's on your back or it's wherever if it's in your hands right now, then you feel it in the same way that Yornir has 2 mammoth tusks and staff.
That's right.
I am going to grab my anchor and in a defensive but like cautious stance as I see this guy absolutely going bananas, smashing the skull. And I'll pause a little bit as I will step forward, unsure of what's real and what's not. Do you perceive us?
He turns, whips around,
Oh shit!
and
I
he
suppose
looks.
you do.
He looks at you. Who are you? Why do you tread here? And you hear the voice of this younger, smaller, diminutive woman turn. What are you doing? Who are you? How have you found us?
I look at Taishan.
We're just travelers. We were just seeking. We were seeking just shelter from the cold.
You come. Look at you. Why? I have never seen creatures like you here.
Well, you've not traveled everywhere, have you?
We are the Norvell tribe. We will not be threatened.
We mean you no harm.
We're not threatening you.
We mean you no harm.
Who was threatening you lying in the snow in a pool of blood and gore? What did they do to earn your ire so?
He spits, and you can see that he's not uninjured himself. He's clearly been in a hard fight, and blood hits the white snow as his spit lands with a tap. And he looks down at the body.
This was my father. And this is my mother and my sister.
You hear another voice, that same woman. She walks up. Costan, please, calm down, please. You have to understand, this has all been happened very suddenly. Please, if you'll just go, leave us.
Who is this? And I'll notion to the woman.
She starts to speak up, but is interrupted by Costan.
This is Sigdis, a worthless woman, made me kill my father. I should kill you too.
Why is it her fault? You're the one holding the hammer, man.
All my life I've been pushed around. Her words invoked my rage. It is your fault.
I know, Costan. I did the same thing to my father, although I never had a sister, and I wasn't the one to bring an end to my mother. And I tell you, your rage will bring you nothing but despair, regret, and won't fill the hole inside of you now. But do not blame your woman for your decision. I live with what I did. You will have to live with what you've done here.
I will live with it happily. I hated them. I'm glad they're gone. Glad, all of them. Even my mother and my sister. And I will kill you too, Sigdis. You brought them here. I can see it in their eyes.
He runs over to her and he grabs her. No, I swear I didn't. I swear. Please, you have to understand. And he throws her to the ground and he starts to lift up his massive mining hammer, this huge giant hammer, and he starts to swing down.
I am frozen. I make no motion to save this woman.
If anyone tries to stop this, I will reach a hand out.
Yeah, I don't
Attempt to
move.
stop
I'm
them.
watching this happen. I don't even try to stop this.
I am going to lunge forward and attempt to use my mega anchor to coolly catch his hammer, if I may, in the crook and then swing it back as I do, or maybe throw my anchor down in front of the blow of the hammer. As I'm going to try to use my bestial speed and my barbarian shit that I have, I don't know, and I'm raging. I'm covered in salt water and barnacles immediately as I lunge forward.
I would reflexively throw my hands up and begin to glow with fame, but if Yornir would move to stop me, I would like
put an arm out, right?
I would pause for a moment, think about something, and stop.
Okay.
I am very. Barnabas is looking like he's a little affected personally by what he's witnessing.
Yeah.
And he's suddenly not thinking in terms of we're on a vision quest here, and he sees someone who perhaps reminds him of his mother and his mother's husband, and his father. And I think that he is just, and he sees perhaps what he may have been or may have become. And as he lunges forward,
How fast do you do this?
I mean, I have 40 speed, and I would dash. Well, I guess I can't dash. I don't know, depending on this.
He's agile. He's pretty agile.
Make a I don't know, acrobatics check or something. Athletic. This is something to.
Oh, you're trying to decide if you want to try to do something?
I'm trying to decide if this is like fast enough where Yornir would like think to react enough to like stop you in this way.
I rolled a natural 1. Oh. So if it's athletics, it's 9.
I would say this is almost like an initiative roll. Like that's effective.
Oh, initiative! I'm advantage. I'm advantage on initial rolls.
Okay, I have
dark
I have
vision.
a 13 then.
I have dark vision. Initiative. 20.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm mid-word as this happens.
You reach forward. You hesitate, paralyzed. You are just watching this happen, Scrim. But you are a man of action, feeling compelled, feeling a resonance in this moment, given the relationship you have with Patricide. and you race forward, and you, I need you to make...
You leave her alone, brute!
Actually, I'm going to roll initiative instead of having you roll for this.
Oh my.
I get a 14. And so I would say that you have the initiative. You can reach Castan, and you are able to block the blow or attack, or...
I'm not attacking him. I am throwing my anchor in a way that would attempt to parry this blow.
Okay, I would say that that's successful. It's almost like an attack. You are able to at least get between the hammer as it comes swinging down, and as much strength, something that you take great pride in, perhaps, as you have your ability to wield this massive anchor. You feel the slam, and you all hear it ring out as metal hits metal, and this clang vibrates through your body, Barnabas, and he's stopped, and he immediately turns, and you can see the hate and rage in this disfigured face as Castan locks eyes with you. Don't you stop me! Don't you stop me! I'll kill you too!
Oh, you don't want to be killing me! I'm not even here right now!
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not here? This is witchcraft.
Witch! Take a walk, Castan. There's nothing here for you. Look at what you've done. Walk into the cold. Into the solitude.
He looks like he's about to lunge and attempt to do to you what he's done to his family, when a pair of arms wrap around his waist, and the young woman pulls him. Don't, please, don't hurt anymore. Don't hurt anyone. We'll be okay. She's pulling herself up and rubbing his shoulders, trying to calm this beast of a man, and trying to soothe him. It's nothing. You can forget them. They aren't here. Just pretend they aren't here, please. Just pretend. We can go. I'll marry you. It'll be just you and I, Castan and Cygnus. Together, we'll be okay. We'll be together forever.
Sun's getting green.
Barnabas, stand down. Remember why we are here.
I don't know why we're here. I was making steaks.
Stand down.
Yornir, for now, I think he needs this.
I care not what he needs. This is what the world needs.
His actions can have no effect here.
That's what I was gonna say. Think about last time. Things didn't play out the way that they really happened in our world. It was completely different. Our actions might not have any effect here.
He can't change the past.
But we can learn what happened. This is our one chance. I wish to not throw away this opportunity.
Fine. I gave you your one chance, young lady. You've made your choice. I will respect that. Maybe you're right, Mr. Yornir. Everyone has a choice. And you've made yours, young lady. I hope you don't regret it. And I'll heave my anchor back up and I'll take a few steps back.
She strokes the hair of Castan, this long barbarian-like hair, and pets the side of his beard. We have to go and bury your mother and daughter. We have to go. We don't have any issue with them, right? We just come on.
Stupid woman. You may be right. I do not wish to see your faces again. Don't come back here. Never again.
He whips the hammer down. It smashes into the ground with a heavy thud. And he turns and he starts to make his way back towards the burning buildings. Clearly distracted or deflected, his rage now focused on the grief of what's happened. And you're left for but a moment with the young woman. I do not know where you came from, but I'm asking you to leave, please. Just go. You came in an awkward time.
Will you stay?
Stay? For what?
Do you care not for your life?
Of course I care for my life. I care very much.
Do you not think that he's just gonna threaten to kill you again another time? And what if it happens?
Why choose to stay here with a man so violent? Murdered those he presumably cared for right in front of you.
He has had a hard life. He looks the way that he looks. He's strong. I owe him my life. He saved me. And I would do very well with him. He is willing to do what it takes to survive.
Why did he say that you were the one who suggested he murder his family?
It was his father who ordered him to do it. I got here too late. I told him it was him. His father who spoke the words, commanded him that it wasn't his fault. That it wasn't their fault. A clumsy accident. You can see the flames. I wanted him to take his revenge.
Oh, that's, I'm sure, what he needs. I'm sure.
I will tend to him. We'll have a good life. But please, wherever you came from, don't stay here. The Norveld tribe will not welcome you as friends.
We will move on now.
We're always moving on. We're wayfarers. You won't see us again.
Farewell. She turns and starts to make her way up through the snow towards the flames that are roaring higher than ever, the smell of smoke filling your nostrils. And as you start to look at each other to perhaps discuss your next steps, you feel that push of fate. The curtains start to pull and fold around you, and you are shown more of this young woman's life. Sigdis, she called herself. You see this human woman, Mary. You do see her eventually form that bond with Castan. And despite the fact that they had this violent incident, she stays with him and she is loyal to him. She believes that her word is her bond. And you watch as the Norveld tribe, as insular and as closed off from the rest of Drakkar as they are, begin to have fight after fight, little skirmishes here and there. You watch as she lives her life, and Castan becomes this commander of men, commander of not just the Norveld tribe, but fighting this impossible force that you come to learn as the Silver Dominion. Castan becomes a war chief, and the tide turns. They are having loss after loss after loss. Sigdis can do nothing, helpless as she is, but watch. And the curtains continue to pull you and shift you through time as you watch year after year unfold before you. You gain these glimpses, this understanding of the path that this young woman is on, when you are suddenly pulled into a new space. And I'm going to change the music.
Dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Your feet touch the earth again, and you find yourself in what is not a forest-covered mountain, but in a perhaps much higher up, above the snow line, fog-covered mountains all around. You recognize that you must be deep in the mountain range known as the Spine of Drakkar. Farther south, space that you've traveled under, that you've observed from afar as you traveled along the ice sheet, and again back down south towards Argentholm. You see a stout building. You see that it is almost made of what look like bones. Its mouth almost yawning open. And that is where you find yourself as you suddenly land, having experienced these visions and having been transported, what feels like moments later or perhaps years later in time.
We are in the Spine. The mountains. I know this place.
How can you be so sure?
You've been up here.
We've been in the. We were that was the mountain chain that we did.
You've been pretty high up, but you do, because of the low, and you would especially recognize the low amount of vegetation here. This is deeper within the Spine than you've ever ventured.
Yeah. Not right here, but we've been in this mountain range. This is very high.
Who would live up here?
What could this have to do with the princess?
Perhaps it has to do with him again.
Stan.
Yes.
We've seen him become a warlord. Conquering the snows.
You hear the sound of footsteps and the trudging of feet, the crunching of snow, and you can see what is clearly a much older Castan and Sigdus following closely behind as they march forward. Castan still has that massive mining hammer clutched in his hands, and he is pushing forward, trudging brutally forward towards this hut, and Sigdus is doing her best with his broad strides to sort of keep up, almost at a jog. They are in plain sight, but neither of them lock eyes with you. Neither of them even seem to perceive you, and they're walking at this point now, coming directly at you. It would be impossible to miss. They continue walking, and you can hear Sigdus sort of whispering to Castan, begging him not to go forward with his plan, and paying no attention to any of the four of you. You step to the side, and you feel like they could have passed right through you as they walk beyond the four of you and in through the mouth of this hut that is almost wedged into the side of the rock formation that you find yourself standing on.
You don't seem to be able to see us this time.
I suppose I was telling the truth, that she wouldn't see us again.
Can we just, follow along and just figure out where they're going?
This is why we're here, is it not, Mr. Yarnir?
Yes, let us follow, but we do not know what will happen. They may see us at some point, so be ready.
Yet a very unsettling feeling in this place.
I don't know why we're seeing any of this.
Does the hut look familiar in any way?
That's a good question.
Make a... I don't think you've seen this specific hut.
No, I just mean like...
But I do think that there's a check that... Right. I think that there's a... and Yornir's lived such a long life and been told so many stories and knows so much about this sort of... this
It's the
realm
Arcana.
that I think perhaps an Arcana check makes sense.
19.
Nice.
Nice.
So with a 19, you look at the hut, and its walls are made of bones, small bones. It is, they're bleached white from the passage of time. It bulges, and you can see the tendril of smoke, and you immediately have an association with the witches in the woods, the hags in the woods, the idea of traveling to this solitary space to find somebody who is delves into magic all by themselves for years on end, living unnaturally long lives and having many secrets, rare secrets that they covet and keep only for themselves. You would have a pretty thorough understanding of not this particular hut, not this particular being, but you would have that parallel in mind as you've heard those stories shared in Mammoth, certainly.
Do we like feel as if we're in the presence of like dark magic?
It's like bright day. It is. It isn't snowing. There's a blue sky with puffy white clouds, and yet you feel a shadow when you look at this space. It is a strange sensation to look into the dark opening of that doorway and feel like you should not go in there. That is not a place that one wants to go.
Jeez.
I won't say anything. I'll just sort of have like this knowing look on my face as I just without a word begin to walk and follow them into the hut.
You watch as Yornir starts to make your way, his way.
I'll follow.
And he has to duck down in order to make his way into the space. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of incense and wood smoke and must. The walls are lined with dried plants and roots and hanging jars and contents hidden beneath layers of dust. No sources of light are evident in this space, and yet your eyes immediately adjust somehow, as though you can see everything, as though in a dream. Then you see Kostan and you see Sigdus sitting there on their knees before this wide metal basin that's churning with water, bubbling and moving almost as though it has its own thought, its own mind. And you hear a voice echoing all around you. It doesn't seem to be coming from anyone. You look, hoping to see where this person might be, but instead it just seems to be coming from all directions. Welcome, children. Children seeking power, like birds chirp for food. Kostan steps forward from just behind you. We seek your aid, witch. What happens next, I'm not going to repeat it, is you witness the experience of Kostan bargaining with this strange woman in the woods, the woman in the mountains, the woman in the hut. You witness as he promises gold, and he promises treasures, he promises land, he promises power. And she says that she's not interested in any of those things. But she does agree to grant him strength and power and immortality. She tells him he'll be a champion, and you watch as his body transforms, rippling, cutting open, his muscles bursting through his skin. God. The scream of Sigdus as she watches her husband of however many years fall down and collapse in her own horror. She speaks again. In 3 days' time, he will be reborn as my deathless, as my Kostkachi. She screams. Our fates are intertwined. I have never strayed from his side. We are bound together forever, husband and wife, just as we're bound to those who depend upon us. And the basin seems to listen to these words as she screams. She doesn't get a response. She picks up the body of Castan, and in her panic, in her stress, and her fear, pulls him through the door, trudgingly past the four of you as you watch this scene unfold. And then you hear the voice again. And you four. There in the cornered shadows of the in-between. What do you seek, little ones?
No. We seek truth. We seek knowledge. We seek salvation.
Careful, Yonir, careful.
What do you seek?
Is she here?
If she can see us.
I see each of you. You are not meant to be here. What would you give for salvation? Very old.
I would give anything for the salvation of my home.
We've seen the price she can erect, Yonir.
I suspect that you will give much, Yornir. Man from Yor? That is you.
Yes. And who are you?
My name is not important. You have seen what I am capable of.
You have seen, and you can see the black gem still twisting and spiraling in the middle of this basin. One that suddenly was enveloped by a smaller skull, enveloped by a skull, enveloped by a skull, enveloped by a skull.
Whoa.
I have gotten what I want. I have gotten much. And I will have very much more when perhaps we see each other again.
The girl. Have you seen her fate? Or the woman at this point, I guess.
Yes, the woman.
Her fate is cloudy.
I see. Do you believe this deal will end well for him?
For my Kastkachi?
Yes.
No. It will end well for me. But he is too arrogant to know what he has bargained for.
We do not know if this is a shadow, what has come, or if I am speaking with you. But if you remain in Drakkar, we can find you, if you wish us to.
I will be waiting.
At what cost? What cost could we possibly give you?
Just think upon what you want. I cannot grant it here, but looking into your hearts, I can see that fate has much in mind for you, and that means a great deal.
Let's get out of here. I don't like this place.
We've seen what this has to show us here. We move on.
You'll be waiting?
I am very patient. I will see you again. I feel it in my bones.
As do I. I will turn and leave the hut at Taishen's request.
I'm out. I'm
Yeah,
Ghibli. I do the black spot and I'm spinning.
I'm watching from the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like on the
hot on yours too.
Jordan, come on.
As soon as we get out of the hut, if my spice box is on me, I am grabbing fistfuls of salt and I am just like eating it. I am eating it everywhere. I'm throwing it back in the direction that I came.
You each turn and you pile through the door, and instead of being confronted by the mountains all around you, you push through, and suddenly you realize that your hands are chained. You suddenly realize that your legs are bound by manacles, by irons.
Fuck?
You push and you run into each other, one into the other, pushing into each other's backs. And looking down at your hands, you realize that these are not the hands of a Triton or of a goblin. These are not Dragonborn hands. You're looking at human hands. You're no longer in the mountains at all. You're somewhere else entirely. You're looking around, you see trees, and you realize that you are being forced by Silver Dragonborn towards what looks like a bloody stump.
Oh no!
And that's where we'll take a quick break.
Oh no!
No curtains, no transformative visions. You suddenly feel yourself being pushed along, prodded by the Silver Dragonborn who flank your left and right, and you realize that you are in a chain of the four of you, and in front of you, what is clearly the woman that you've come to know as Sigdis. And you are being pushed and forced along. Get on, keep moving, and you're being
Also in chains?
and
Sorry,
also in
she's
chains.
also in
She's
chains.
also in chains.
Oh, wow.
And you can hear her cries. Please, we understand. We didn't do anything. We don't kill us! Don't kill us! You've already gotten my husband. You've already gotten him. Everything is over. You've won. There's no reason to take our lives.
Is it just the five of us, or
just
there
the
more?
five.
Okay, so we are a chain gang of five.
Oh, God.
I look at my companions who no longer look like themselves. What do I see?
You see
yeah.
what looks like a humanified Barnabas, a
Oh,
humanified
you?
Titan. You all get a
You
you.
made a terrible mistake.
Are we in high school out uniforms?
It's very alien and strange to see that, but all of you looking around, you can look into each other's eyes that you've looked into during the worst of times when you thought that you could die. Your brothers in this found family, and you can see the soul of Yornir in one set. You can see the soul of Taishen in another. You can see in the slightly shorter human eyes of Scrim. It's almost like a caricature, but you get a sense immediately that you are with your companions and heading towards what is very clearly an execution site.
Are humans always as cold?
That's right. You immediately feel the biting cold. Even though you're
Are we dressed for the elements? Like, are we still?
you
dressed
would
like
still be dressed in Norvald tribe garb,
Got it. We're not
right?
naked
And
like in
you've
Skyrim.
clearly been hiking for some time, but for you, Barnabas, the distance is 60 feet. No, for you, Barnabas, this is the first time you've had the cold like let in by your body. You feel betrayed by this transformation.
What is this then? First they can see us, then they can't, then we're not ourselves anymore.
Sigdis, what has happened to Kostan?
Kostan, he was fighting. He was fighting, and he was doing very well. We were turning the tide, and he vanished. He was in the middle of decimating their forces, and something happened.
Ah, magic is very strong, little one. And you hear one of the sounds of the guard. Your husband was not killed, but sent somewhere away by our
most powerful mages. We are the Silver Dominion, and we have won.
So we know of the empire that existed on this continent.
Yeah, that she like wiped out.
And because we didn't experience... Okay, so the side story stuff is also not us. It's like when we were the guards.
Right, we don't know about
Our
that.
characters didn't know any of
We don't know
that.
about that.
You're right.
We never saw the Emperor die. We never saw any of that.
You're
Right.
right.
But we've seen all the ruins of Silver Dragonborn from the very beginning.
Yes.
Where they had massive like portals and everything was written in Dragonborn and
I promise I will never do non-linear storytelling again.
Well, no, I think that if we just take a step to like, I just want to make sure that
It's
I
also just
understand.
been a long time.
It's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
On Earth, in
That's
Earth
why.
and human
That's
years.
why
Yes.
it's tough.
And so I guess
got
my
it.
question is it safe to assume, would our characters feel like this even predates the Empire? And that the Silver Dominion or the Silver Dominion and this battle could be the beginnings of them taking over Jakar and starting their empire?
You feel that this is the Silver Dominion that the ghosts that you talked to spoke of. That this is the Empire. That this is the group of Silver Dragonborn that you know very well. The Princess of Wrath ultimately destroyed and killed all of them in her wrath.
Yes. Okay. So I guess my point is that like this really puts a point on just how long ago Costan and Sigdus and all of them lived as humans.
Absolutely.
Really fucking long time ago.
You would know that it's centuries because if the Silver Dominion is here, then the story that you've been experiencing, watching this young woman, watching her husband Costan become Koskachi and become this war commander, watching all of these pieces come together, you suddenly put the puzzle together and go, oh shit, this was before the death of those druids that you met on the mountain. This was before the destruction of Argentholm, the city that you've been inhabiting. This is before all of that by centuries, perhaps millennia.
Right. Ugh. Yornir will internalize that.
You are all pushed and forced into a line, and immediately one of the Silver Dragonborn turns and pulls a massive axe, an executioner's axe. This is not an axe that is used in battle. This is an axe with a long, wide blade that bends and turns in to a flat side, just specifically so that it can come down and land almost like a guillotine.
Oh, gods, I hope that if this hurts, it's quick.
You stand strong, Mr. Staviskelch, or whatever your human name is.
I'm sorry that we failed. I'm sorry. We if I could do anything, I would, but I think this is the end.
You hear the words of Sigdus looking into your eyes. She's looking at you as though you are friends, as though you are perhaps the last of those who she would call the Norveld tribe.
If this is the end, we shall die with honor and grace. And we knew that we did everything we could. Captors, before I go, I must ask, where did you send our war chief? Does he live still?
One of them steps forward and laughs heartily as he disconnects your chains from the rest of the group. Who cares? And he pulls you and starts to roughly push you towards the stump.
We will feast in the great mead halls of Odin this night.
Our ancestors are smiling down at us, Dragonborn. Can you say the same? Jakar belongs to the Norvald! Jakar belongs to the Norvald!
You watch as the one that you would know as Yornir is pushed down to the stump, and the Silver Dragonborn carrying this executioner's axe doesn't ceremoniously even ask for last words. He just turns to the rest of you and he says, "You'll be next." He lifts up his axe and he swings down, and there's a heavy thud. Yornir, you have the experience of feeling your head leave your neck.
That's a weird feeling.
It is a terrible feeling.
Does my experience in this realm end?
No, your consciousness continues to persist. And
Oh, jeez.
What is
but
happening?
at the moment
Is
that
it
the
pain? Is
that
it
the
pain?
blade connects, you no longer feel a part of this body. You feel like you're watching those other visions, almost a passenger in this moment. You don't feel the pain of death. You feel that you've been disconnected, and you realize that you are almost blinking, watching almost like an ethereal spirit in this moment.
So all of a sudden I'm Fearbol Yornir, and there's a 6'5" human with long red hair. With
That's right.
His head.
That's
in
right.
snow.
The head tumbles forward, and you all watch this in horror as
That's weird.
blood.
By the gods, you'll
flashes
pay
forward.
for that!
Flashes
Who's next
into
on the chopping block?
and
Is it Barnabas somehow?
obviously for being such a vocal,
You're gonna need more than that to kill a Norvald!
you're disconnected, and you are pulled forward, Barnabas, as you are stumbled. You're literally dragged, even
No!
though you're a
Not
big
Barnabas,
human
no!
in your
What are
human
they
form.
gonna do? Cut his head off?
You're pulled forward,
No.
and you are shoved to your knees.
Shen,
and-
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Not Barnabas!
Scrim, it's okay. We just have to let it play out.
Okay, alright. Alright. And I'm like muttering to myself as I watch this happen.
And you are not given any last words. Instead, you just hear a grunt, and you feel a thud as the two of you see the body of Barnabas go very still, and you can hear the sound of his heart pumping blood as his head rolls into the snow.
By the 9! No. Oh, God. Taishen, I want to get this over with.
I'm never casting this spell again.
Welcome, Barnabas.
Are we alive? Are we dead?
We are we, and they are dead. They were not us.
I hope
Still-
Taisha never casts a spell again.
I believe that if Scrim collects our heads and escapes and puts them on that platform, he resurrects us.
That's very funny.
No. Damn you!
I'm sorry. We did everything that we could. We fought.
I'm just gonna like kind of take a few steps forward and again like mutter to myself like, I just hope this is quick. And like, you know,
Yeah, what you would do in the final moments of one's mortal life, you do, and you scramble, but you are pulled from the ground and forced over to this stump after watching the body of Barnabas get unceremoniously pulled and thrown into a pile alongside other soldiers, presumably allies of Sigdus.
as soon as my head is, I guess, put on this chopping block forcefully, as my head slams to the chopping block, I'm gonna look up at our captors and I'm gonna say, "What is that? Who goes there? Never should have come here."
The blade comes down with a heavy thwack and lands, and your head rolls to the ground, and suddenly you find yourself blinking, looking at the Force Ghost style version of Barnabas and there.
Oh, God, what?
Everything is fine. You are okay.
we're fine.
You are alive.
We're like the brothers from the Stardust movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I call Mark Strong.
Now that's a good movie.
Oh, he's the best one.
That's a good movie.
That sucked.
It was uncomfortable.
These soldiers step forward in a line, and instead of reaching for you, they grab Sigdus and pull her free. You find yourself left alone as you watch them start to pull her body towards the stump.
Sigdus, what is it you wanted for this land?
She turns and she looks and she said, "All we ever fought for was our freedom to be ourselves, to live our own lives, not underneath the dominion."
A noble quest. You did everything you could.
She is shattered, and you can see that she's lost everything in this moment, and you can see the seething hatred that she has when she looks at the world around her, even you to an extent in this moment, for having not enough strength. She dislikes so much of herself and her world that you can see the red in her eyes as she is forced and pushed down into position to be executed, and you're shocked to see the blade come up, realizing that this was sort of what you asked for as Taishen. The legend of the Princess of Wrath has somehow led you to this moment, and you watch as the blade swings down and thump. Sigdus's head flies free and rolls down, rolls a few feet away, and her head stills and comes to rest. And you watch her body go completely still. And shrugging, the soldiers start to pull her body and throw it into the pile, the head lulled amongst with your friends, and they start to approach you when suddenly there is a crackling sound. A strange thing happens where the snow of the ground starts to almost rise up and lift into the sky, not falling down, but suspending and then shifting and starting to move upward in this direction. And you look as lines are almost traced around the stump. This circular pattern, an arm almost in the snow starts to crackle. Huge juts of ice start to as it crashes through the ground, almost hitting you, making one of the soldiers stumble. A second arm comes crackling out of this center nexus point, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and you realize that in a massive span of 30, 40, 50 feet wide, a snowflake almost has imprinted itself, made of translucent ice, and it shatters. And there's this massive explosion as you realize that you are staring at a young, but still massive and powerful ice dragon. The Princess of Wrath rises from this shattered ice and is born into the space of the execution site, roaring. All of a sudden, her wings unfurl, and you realize you are staring at the moment that the Princess of Wrath was born. The spirit, the spark of Sigdus having been extinguished, has been rebirthed into this dragon, and she uses her talents immediately. A talon comes swinging down, and one of the soldiers is caught by it, torn to ribbons, pulled into pieces, legs going in this direction, arms going in the other. The executioner looks up and screams in terror as she slams down another arm and crushes him, completely splattering him, guts and viscera and gore going in all directions.
I start running. I'm running.
As best you can in fetters.
I'm like Iroh in chains.
You all witness this, those of you who don't feel like running, as she tears the remaining soldiers into ribbons. She realizes she can breathe and pours forth a massive frozen breath that completely shatters a bunch of trees, killing you instantly as she, in her blind rage, lashes out in all directions and then spirals into the air on a path of revenge that would last for decades.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, you finally made it!
It was her. Did the body disappear when she was reborn?
Or
Or
was
still
it
was a
like
human
transmogrified
Right.
into the dragon? Or
I would say that the body did disappear.
Okay.
The head and the
very
body.
clear.
It is extremely clear that by some force, by some fate, a fate that the voice in the hut could not perceive, something reached down, or some magic of the land, or some transformative power saw the rage in Sigdus's heart in this moment, and she was reborn as this dragon.
How dissimilar is it from when my own form as a humanoid shifts into a creature?
Oh.
Kind of is it that same kind of thing where the body almost like primally shifts?
There's
into
this shift and warp. I would say that it is a bit dissimilar. This doesn't seem like primal magic to you.
Got it. Okay.
This feels a bit arcane.
Arcane. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Hail.
Yeah, it's very important. So she was human.
Let's do this.
Oh, yeah, that explains her appreciation.
Her lover turned to the witch in the mountains. Lost himself, was killed, banished, whatever happened to him. The rest of her people captured, executed in front of her. Until she herself killed and changed. I've never seen anything like that.
How does a human even become a dragon?
Woman is powerful.
In the mountains.
Yes. The witch of the hedge.
Boy, she took up her husband's wrath, hatred, and vengeance, that's for sure. She learned absolutely nothing.
It is her natural state. She became, and she has never stopped being, the wrathful creature. It is in her nature.
The Silver Dominion is destroyed. You're pulled through time as you continue to watch the dragon who would become known as the Princess of Wrath find and destroy and find and destroy, hunting. At a certain point, she is finding these legions, these contingents, these soldiers, these battlements. She's going from group to group to group, and is unstoppable in her rage, with such great strength, with such great flight, with such great magic that suffuses her being. She becomes a predator, and they are the prey. What Koskachi may have been able to achieve had he not been banished, she is able to, and she crushes them again and again and again and again. You see her make her way to the capital city of Argentholm, this shining, beautiful city, a city at the height of its own civilization, and she swims around it, crushing buildings with her great weight, crushing buildings with her anger made manifest, and eventually confronting the self-declared emperor of the Silver Dominion there at the top of the Biting Bastion, and slaying him as well.
You see his personal guards.
You do see 4 personal guards.
Shucks, this is really rough, guys. I can't believe we're witnessing the end of Empire. I guess all empires do fall. But shucks, I was hoping it wouldn't be in my lifetime.
Thank you. Thank you. Four small figures disappear into what is clearly a platform that falls like an elevator.
Perfect.
I mean, we got to tell the full story.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's
Full
canon.
circle.
That's canon now.
Full circle, baby.
That's it. We're back.
Aside from those 4 that she never finds, she goes beyond the rank and file of the Silver Dominion. She goes beyond that and starts finding any creature that might call itself Silver Dragonborn, destroying towns. What will eventually be the ice sheet that you cross is dotted with fishing villages of people who wouldn't necessarily have put themselves in harm's way or ever wanted to be a part of the oppression that civilization represented, and yet she kills them all the same. You even recognize briefly a flash of the river where the druids themselves would be killed, and the ones that you would call friends on the mountaintop, those spirits. When she can find no more, and she believes the Silver Dominion and all Silver Dragonborn across Drakkar to be finally slain, she finds the top of a mountain and shifts. And you see that same transformation occur. She shrinks and becomes human again. But this is not the demure, short, shrunken shape of Sigdis, as you knew her, with her auburn hair. Now she has a different body entirely, tall and flexible and lean and muscled in a way that is impossible. Her hair has changed color. Her eyes have changed color. She is as shocked as you are to find herself in this shape.
Oh.
But weary, she rests, and she goes into a long slumber. Years pass as the Princess of Wrath sleeps, dormant. Spent from her energy, she has no purpose, and she spends a long time not eating, just letting the magic pull herself deeper and deeper into the land until you witness her found by white kobolds, trekking and journeying across Drakkar, almost perhaps by chance or perhaps looking for that strange ice dragon of myth. And she is worshipped as a goddess when she is awoken. This is the group that would eventually become known as the Ivory Clutch, and you can recognize their wings and see that they are almost certainly the ancestors of the one known as Whisperfang. Over the centuries, she gathers the peoples of Drakkar and binds them using the same magic that she witnessed, that she eventually would capture of the woman in the hut. This long basin, the name binding ritual that you yourselves performed at Whisperfang's instruction. It strengthens and emboldens her, and you witness her do that as well. She brings those people to Argentome, rebuilds, demands their loyalty and their gold. You realize now, making the connection to having witnessed the agreement that Castan made and became Koskachi, not for 1,000 gold would I do this. And you realize that is the reason why gold is so coveted in Argentome. You see yourselves icebound. We catch up to present day. And you see yourselves, you realize she took barrels of your gold and left.
She did. Told the captain to.
She killed the captain and abandoned you to see if you could survive in Drakkar. And of course, months later, through the innate relationship she has with Drakkar, through the powers that she has siphoned from the many tribes and peoples of the world, she feels the sudden presence of a nautiloid ship break into the atmosphere, and she goes to slay it. She takes the Hexature armature for herself, and she immediately moves to recruit the ogres and humans of that world, realizing that there are humans again in Drakkar for the first time since, well, aside from one poet who happened to show up. She takes special interest in the humans, seeing herself in them and a future where humans could once again thrive in Drakkar. You watch and are especially interested to see that she is journeying, flying through the clouds when she recognizes another being, and you realize this is the confrontation moment where she confronts Secundus. He has been wandering the mountains. He has with him Ket Rostine. And she lands to threaten anyone who would bring war or to evaluate this creature in the same way. And of course, the battle that happens afterwards is tremendous. The actual confrontation, it looks like Secundus might actually overcome her in the end, but she is, despite being wounded, able to crush him and tear his head free from his body, leaving his body, which turns to a magical yellow light that drifts into the distance like dust. She holds the head up and she pulls Ket Rostine to his feet and disappears off back to the Biting Bastion with them. You witness all of these things until eventually you yourselves arrive at Argentome. You earn the right to become a tribe through trial by combat. You undergo the same naming ritual as the other chiefs and tribes. You watch as they use the Iceborne. You watch as they use the Hexature armament to present a vision of Koskachi during the naming ritual. You watch as Whisperfang tells tells the princess of a hiding human, someone that he has observed with his arcane eye and through his arcane sight, and watches as the Princess of Wrath demands her return so that she might join the other humans that she's collecting. Eventually, you see, of course, also the other side of the story. 2 days ago, it's as recent as this in your vision, Queenie and Daisy joining the Princess of Wrath. We see them reunite with the vassals. She takes them, and you get a sense that the vassals are being well taken care of therein, that they have fine comforts. Even if they are captive, they have a gilded cage of sorts, being treated almost royally within one of the palatial chambers of that strange castle fortress. And sometime in the last day, you see Queenie and Daisy. It's hard to make out exactly what's being heard. You see the two of them are standing before what is a great archway. And you see Whisperfang is standing there demanding something. Queenie is clearly stressed and trying to argue, but the princess has Daisy in her clutches, pulling her up and towards her, and that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh! What?
I'm gonna cliffhanger it. It's exactly midnight. It's perfect time.
Oh my god!
Holy